Welcome back to Lead Full Circle. This is episode 9, part 1, Leading Beyond Yourself. You can see here the statement on the screen that says, leadership is never about us doing more. It's about something bigger living through us. Today, we're going to talk through this topic and apply it to our family. A lot of practical takeaways that we can apply to our family. And that is so important to never leave leadership out of our families and those values we're going to look at today. But before we continue, I would encourage you to please go to youtube.com if you're not already watching it on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and comment. That's very important. So do that now. Let's continue with this episode 9, part 1, Leading Beyond Yourself. So when you look at this question here as we start this episode, are you leading from what you're doing or from something bigger living through you? So do you try to lead in a way that reflects your values, that reflects your beliefs within your family? Or do you let those daily tasks, those daily just obligations take you away from what you believe consistently? And how does that show within your family? Do you forget the influence you have as a mom or as a dad, as a wife or as a husband? That influence and those beliefs and values you pride yourself on, you cannot let those go in the busyness of life. And we'll come back and revisit that here in just a minute. Another question I want us to look at is this right here. What makes a leader's influence last longer? Is it your title? Is it your talent? Or is it something else? So when you talk about our family, I hope you would say something else. So do you lead your family with high character? Do you lead your family with integrity? Do you treat your family the right way? How do you treat others within your family? Do you consistently approach hard times the right way on your beliefs and your values as a family? So those are some important questions to think about as we start this episode. And I want to kind of transition now to another thought. So why is obedience important? There's one major point I want to make with this when you talk about our family and leadership within our family, and it's this. People will not rise higher than the leader's obedience. If you cut corners in your family, your kids will cut those same corners, your spouse will cut those same corners. So you have to be obedient to what you believe in, what you focus on as a family, those going back to those values, those core principles of your family. If you cut corners, so will everybody else in your family. So you've got to stay consistent in how you approach and how you are obedient to those values and the beliefs within your family. So at home, obedience may look like being consistent with your discipline. So we're not there yet with Caroline, and I'm dreading the day we do get there, but maybe you've got a child that's old enough to drive, and this is just an example, but I think we can all relate to it. And you've got a curfew set, and your child comes in after curfew. Do you let them slide and get away with it? Or are you obedient to your values of maybe respect and responsibility? And a lot of times being obedient to your values, it can take more energy. It can take more effort. It can be uncomfortable at times. But we can't let our kids cut corners, because if we let them cut corners, that's going to start becoming the norm. And what are we teaching them about being responsible if that is who we are as a family? I also think about this. It's so important for what you believe, your values, your principles as a family. Again, we're not there yet with Caroline, but as your kids get older, there are going to be social events that your kids are going to want to go to. So here's something I, as a dad, I'm already processing when Caroline gets to that age. If you know something's going on at a party or at a social event that involves kids that should not be going on, are you still going to allow your child to go? For me, absolutely not. And if as a family, we have values we believe in, and it may be a hard conversation with your child at first, but in the long run, you'll be much better off. And I think as your kids get older, they will appreciate it more. But we have to make sure we don't let go of our values, let go of our principles as a family, just so our child can be popular and go to a certain party, go to some a social event, even though we know things are going on there that shouldn't be going on. We have to take a strong stance as a family and stay firm in the values that we believe in. And we have to start teaching our kids early on. So hopefully when we do have to have those tough conversations, they will understand the why more importantly than what they would not if they've never heard of it before. So we've got to, as a family, stay strong in our values and our principles that we believe in. We have to be obedient to those things, even when times are tough, even when you have to have those uncomfortable conversations. We cannot give in because, like I said earlier in this episode, if the leader of the family, if you as a leader, if you cut corners, you're allowing others to cut corners, and it's going to start becoming okay. And then you're not going to have any values, any beliefs you stand on. And that, I believe, is a very important, big problem that we face with our families. Where are our values we believe in? Where's our principles we believe in as a family? We've got to start taking a stronger stance as families on the values we believe in. I get my values from my worship with God and studying the Bible. Acts chapter 1 is a great example for leadership when we look at the disciples and how they were following Jesus and following his commands. They were being obedient to their values and their faith in God. And we can pull from that and apply it to our lives in so many areas when we talk about leadership, and especially leadership within our family. So I would encourage all families to really come together and think about, what do you value? What do you hang your hat on as a family when it comes to the principles, the core principles that you believe in as a family? And are you being obedient to those values and those beliefs? Are you consistently living those out? And the last question I want to end with is this: are you making decisions based on convenience instead of conviction? We should be making decisions as a family convicted of the beliefs and values and principles we believe in, not because it's convenient and easy. We've got to stay true to who we are as a family. I hope you've enjoyed this episode today, Leading Beyond Yourself, Part 1. Focused a lot on the family. Next episode will be an extension of this, but continue to go to leadfullcircle.net. A lot of resources, all my episodes there. Also have some very exciting news coming up in the next couple of weeks about a leadership conference next summer and who we're going to have speaking at our leadership conference. Fired up about that. So hopefully I can share that in the next couple of weeks. Also, patreon.com/leadfullcircle. More conversation about this topic, in-depth conversations. Go check it out. You'll only catch that part of the conversation at patreon.com. But again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.